As I have mentioned, the President of the National Council of Chiefs, Kosi Muchane Kumalo, Senator Kosi Muchane Kumalo, basically should lead in this interaction with the media because of his voice, which is a result of some flu. He's asked me to convey his message to the media. Friday afternoon, the steering committee met, the steering committee of the National Council of Chiefs. As you are aware, this program is led by the National Council of Chiefs, chaired by the President of the National Council of Chiefs, Chief Muchane Kumalo. The National Council of Chiefs reports to His Excellency, the President, Comrade Dr. Idi Munangagwa, is our principal, who also ensures that we have resources to enable the program to move forward. And I want to repeat that this program was endorsed by the President himself, who decided to open up on issues of Gukurahundi, to allow individuals, call them victims, as an individual or as a family, a group, to be able to submit to their chief from their area, their own chief of that area, to submit, call them grievances, that occurred during the Gukurahundi. The President tasked the National Council of Chiefs, and as you are aware, for over 4 years, we've been preparing to go to the communities to hear from them. So we started with the awareness program on the 27th of May. 27th, the 5th of June, awareness program. Awareness meaning chiefs addressed people in their communities to make them aware that the President is opened up on this issue, is allowing people to make submissions through the chief. And cases which come out well and legitimately so that require compensation, government is ready to compensate. That's why we encourage people who have suffered some loss or harm during Gukurahundi to come forward to approach their chiefs. So during the awareness program, this is what the chiefs were saying to their communities, that please come forward to the chief so that the chief can know who are the victims. And our approach is victim-centered. That should be known by the media. It's victim-centered. It's not public hearing. One, because of the sensitivities and sometimes private nature of some of the narrations that may come out. Some of them cannot be shared in public. So these are not public hearings. And you know, even in any court system, sometimes certain proceedings are held in camera to protect the interests of the victim. So there's nothing new, but they're going to show it's not, these are not public hearings. So those who want to attend, no, let the victim invite maybe one or two, some members of the family during that hearing in camera with the victims only. This is very important. Even victims cannot be in one room. Each victim will have their own time. So the chief would, let's say, organize meetings, let's say from 10 to 12, one victim. Maybe from 2 to 4, another set of victims. This is starting. The hearings are starting on the 26th of June. So on the 26th of June, we expect each chief out there hearing from the victims. So from Friday, steering committee discussed these issues mainly with respect to logistical arrangements. And yesterday, Saturday, we met all the chiefs from the two provinces, Mat North and Mat South. They were given the opportunity to report on the outcomes of the awareness program, how things went in their areas. They did report any issues logistical that need to be addressed. That was done. And then going forward from the 26th, what exactly we'll be doing, which means just chiefs doing those meetings. As you are aware, the chief will be supported by 13, a panel of 13 to hear from the victims. The chief is the presiding officer. The chief has nominated already 2-3 elders from that community. Wise men, elders who know culture in that community. We have also brought in religious leaders, pastors, reverends, from that particular community, not outside. So leaders of some churches, 2 or so, will be part of the 14. Women, gender. We then said we need to have women, so that they sometimes have special interests. So women are represented. The youth, because we are building peace for the future. It's for the future. And the youth will live in that future. So they have to learn what issues and how we are resolving them. So we'll have the youth on that panel. We'll have 2 rapporteurs. The rapporteur's duty, as you know, is to record in various forms: audio, visual, and other means to record the submissions. So they've been given laptops, they've given iPads, they've been given recorders, cameras. Yes, all those things to enable them to record. But the chief will be responsible for storage or custody of those gadgets. So basically, that's what we are doing, preparation for the outreach, which starts on the 26th. That's what we'll be doing for Friday, Saturday. And today, we brought in the supreme body, constitutional supreme body of the traditional leaders, the Chiefs Council. Because in terms of the directive by the president, it is the National Council of Chiefs that is leading this process. The National Council of Chiefs leading the process. So the National Council of Chiefs have met, they've been briefed, and they've approved the whole program, endorsed, and said the outreach should kick off on the 26th. So in terms of procedure, we are now very satisfied that the National Council of Chiefs itself has endorsed the program. So we move from the 26th onwards.
So it's from the 26th to when?
It's difficult to say to when, but roughly it can take 3 months to 4 months, 5, 6 months. Ideally, we don't want it to go beyond 6 months. We believe maybe 1 or 2, 3 chiefs may go that far. And as you know, the number or the volume of work, meaning the number of victims, will differ from chief to chief. One chief may finish within 2, 3 months. The other one may need 4, 5, but we don't think it will take more than 6 months.
So from the 13 members that you mentioned from the committee, so this includes the 2 rapporteurs.
The chief is the 14th.
The chief is the 4th. So from the 13 members, is the youth, the women, the wise elders, the rapporteurs, and the religious community?
Yes. Also, there's a counseling experts or people who know good at counseling You know counseling, eh? Yes. People who are good at dealing with emotional situations. So we need, call them a counselor, but they not counselor political or this counselor in terms of counseling. That is also included. But from the community, all these people cannot come outside the chief's jurisdiction. Yes. So even if you are a counselor, you may not have a degree, but we know that that woman or that man or that pastor is very good at pacifying certain situations. So that's what, but all the 14 come from the specific area. Why? Because culture becomes one of the dominant factors in dealing with this type of issues. When you talk of the deceased, culture is one of the key issues. How do you deal with those situations? So we don't want external minds to come and start arguing and proposing. No, everything is according to the values, traditions of the people in that particular chieftainship.
And one last one from me. We understand that maybe some of the people that would want to attend these hearings, some of them might have relocated to the neighboring countries like Botswana and South Africa. During your awareness period, were you notified what methodology did you use to talk to these people so that they come back home and be part of the hearings?
Just like any judicial, this is a quasi-judicial proceeding. No one can then address a court from Botswana and addressing the court in Blawayo. It's imperative that if you really have a good case, come talk to the chief. They will give you a date in September, for example. Yes, I said I want to be available in August or September. The chief will allow you to come and do your presentation. Yes, but our chiefs cannot go and sit in Botswana or in South Africa. But people will be allowed time to make arrangements to come and make their submission.
Are the victims allowed to talk to press, to journalists?
No.
Okay, so I suppose it's
No.
question. Okay. Yeah, so sorry, Chief, I wanted to find out a few things. One, the quantum of compensation, how much and how is it determined? Is there some kind of fund that has been set aside already for that?
Trust the president. The president himself has said people will be compensated. But quantum can't be predetermined even before the hearing, for example. Because one will say, I lost 3 head of cattle. One will say, I lost 15. So you can't say, give the same amount to everybody. It depends on each case, as they say, will be decided, or each compensatory value or quantum will depend on the merits of the case.
Any more questions?
Yes. Chief, you had said that the victims are not supposed to talk to press, but after the launch at the State House, Lawyer State House, there are some victims that we know, and then some they were children. For instance, I did ask this question that these people fled from, let's say, Lupani, and they said, okay, and there are no relatives alive, and he's the only one who is going to witness for him to say, this man who's now 30 years old was at that moment in time 2 years, and the entire homestead was destroyed. There's no one there that know him. How are you going to get his story and accept it?
I think let's not look at possible stumbling blocks only. Let us celebrate, like the media, let us celebrate this opportunity granted by His Excellency the President, which, as you know, prior to 2017, you are not allowed to talk about Gukurahundi, you'll be in trouble. The President said, let's talk about it. So if you are aggrieved, and then naturally you go to a quasi-judicial setting and you present your case, that opportunity in life should be celebrated. So these people who say, I now live in Blawayo, they come from Incisa. it is their duty to know who the chief is, and then find a way, communicate with your chief, and then tell them you are the only one remaining in the family. But the beauty of this process is that the hearings are taking place where these things happen. And even if you are the only one in the family, all the neighbors will testify and say, yes, the parents, all of them are late now, but we know. So the communities know what happened. So there's no one who can say, I have no witnesses, because these things happened in communities, in the villages, and even people who may not even your relatives know about it.
So the
Final question.
Now this one, I think, came earlier.
Yeah, I want to find out if the report will be made public after it has been compiled.
I can't say, sitting here, or even the president sitting here now. As you know, we will submit the report to His Excellency the President. So I cannot say the president will do this. He will receive it, and he will then proceed as he deems fit. The last one.
yes, thank you, sir. I'm a bit worried. When this whole process, I'm glad you mentioned already the importance of media. Media did try to find a way of being involved in reporting the hearings, and there was some process, I think, where some journalists were then co-opted or a part of. Maybe I got lost along the way. How then did we arrive at a situation now where we are hearing that the media can no longer cover?
It's not actually a situation today. I'm aware we held a meeting here with the Permanent Secretary Mangwana present in this room to try and engage and brainstorm on how the media could be, I don't know whether it's not playing a role, you have no role as such, but how the media could also have access, if you can use that term, to what will be happening. It was agreed that the media are going to meet and agree and come up with some form of code of conduct during this process. We sit here today, you have not come back with how the mechanisms agreed, and that code of conduct, there's nothing up to today. And we still invite you, the media, to engage with us further. If you think you can come up with something, yeah, but also bear with us. The type of hearings that we'll be conducting, some of them are not for public consumption. What I'm saying is the victim may be destroyed in terms of their standing. I can't give you examples, but informally I can. There are certain cases that once she narrates and say, and this happened to people were scared and say, oh, that lady, we didn't know. She looks beautiful, but don't touch her. You have destroyed that person. So there's that 80% of confidentiality and privacy. That's the problem with this one. That's why media is not allowed to proceedings in the camera. So we are not inventing a way of proceeding which is known to the media world. The media world is aware that there are some proceedings in court, the High Court, in camera. And those very reasons that require such a process also apply to this one in all respects. Because we cannot predict what this victim will say. And by the time we say, oh, media, go away, they are already posting everywhere. damaging the standing of an individual. And we don't want to be part of that ourselves.
Doesn't it defeat the purpose of opening up which the president? Okay,
Sorry, let me finish. When you say opening up, to who? To the victim. We are opening up to the victim. The government is now saying, come and tell us your grievances. So opening up to the victim. The public's interest is in the final report. That's why the public interest should be, not to the particular individual. So opening up to the victims. And the same victims may not even want their story covered in the media.
Thank you so
But
much.
look, the media is aware. This is nothing new. There are so many situations where the media is not allowed. In many meetings, I sit in so many meetings, and then you find that media, can you just cover the faces here and then finish and go out? And I see you willingly going out. And they're happily going out. And then the proceedings continue in your absence. So there's nothing new about the Gukurahundi saying you may not, or even you shall not, come to those hearings. But the president sitting here, I think he will, from time to time, Chief Kumaro, the president, from time to time, ask through that lady whom I see has been organizing this, say, come. I want the media, I want to tell them that after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, so far, we have had 50 done. I think there will be periodical briefings to the media through that lady, because I see she's the one commandeering everything. So be comfortable that you'll be appraised of progress. Thank you very much for coming. And thank you very much for asking questions to which I have very good answers.
Very happy to ensure that this will